Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm your host Jamie and I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. Thanks for tuning in. The theme of this episode is relationships, relationship advice, relationship drama. So let's get into it. The title of the first story is, would it be okay / weird if I, 20 female, asked out the stranger, 24 male, who saved me from being kidnapped out to dinner? I'm going to talk about how I was almost kidnapped in detail since it's actually a bit therapeutic for me to write it out. But if you aren't interested in reading, just skip down 2 paragraphs. 5 days ago, and against my best interest, I was out running at about 10 p.m. Our school has an open campus that is surrounded by woods and a couple of easy trails. It can sometimes get a bit scary at night. Since my school and its surrounding neighborhood is very safe, I don't usually worry much when I go out running alone. That particular night, my phone, which was also my flashlight, decided to die mid-run. I should have known that could happen since my phone had been having battery issues. It would die even though it was at 20%. That immediately set me into a panic since I was on a pretty secluded trail with very minimal lighting. I stopped running to fumble with my phone to see if it would miraculously turn back on, but nope. I was also wearing light reflective leggings, so I was definitely visible to others. I was about to start running again when I noticed a guy approaching me. I hadn't noticed him prior to this, but he was probably hidden in the woods next to the trail. There's a public bathroom and a picnic table. He was smoking a cigarette and had his phone in his hand, and I immediately got bad vibes. By the time I realized where he even came from, he already was only a couple feet away from me, where he called out, "Miss, are you lost?" His speech sounded a bit slurred, and he reeked of cigarette smoke, which led me to think that he was probably a homeless drunk living near the picnic table and public bathroom. I told him no, and that I was on my way to my friend's house, despite my athletic gear, lol. Then he gave me a once-over, whistled, and said, "Damn, girl, you look delicious. Look at that ass." And he slapped my ass. I think I yelped and immediately stepped away, but he reached out and grabbed my wrist. I thought it was actually the end for me, and I screamed as loud as I can, but there was literally no one near me. My heart was beating out of my chest, and I felt like I was going to effing faint. He chuckled and said, "Shut up. No one can hear you anyway." My heart was beating out of my chest, and there was so much adrenaline coursing through my body. Thank the effing stars for what happened next. From behind me, the trail suddenly became lit, and I realized there was a biker headed my way. Then I heard him call, "Maddie, is that you? Holy crap, what are you doing out so late?" The guy muttered, "Shit," and immediately let go and began running away. The biker got closer and immediately braked and got off. I have no effing clue who this guy is, and he doesn't know me either. He asked me if I was okay and what that guy was doing, and I explained to him everything that happened and almost got on my knees to thank him. He looked just as freaked out as me. He asked where I live, and I told him I was a student of name of college, and he told me that he's a grad student at the same school. He also immediately took off his sweatshirt and gave it to me to wear since I was only in a tank top. He then walked me all the way back to my house, around 2 miles. On the way, he tried to ask me about school stuff, but I was a bit too frazzled to give any sensible response, so he mostly talked about himself. He told me he was a second-year CS student at the engineering school. He likes to cook. His favorite show is The Office. He enjoys playing basketball, but he sucks. He works part-time at Google, and more stuff I can't remember. He also gave me his email and number and told me that if I needed him to talk with the police / file a report, to just shoot him a message or call. He apologized for what happened and said that he was glad I was safe. I thanked him a billion more times and went home. The next day, I texted him and thanked him again and also went and filed a police report. But I feel like I can't thank him enough. He literally saved my life. Without a doubt, if he just kept biking or didn't see me, I would have been possibly killed. I don't know how I can show my gratitude. I really want to take him out to dinner, but would that be weird? I also have to return his sweatshirt. I'm also a bit infatuated by him. Do you guys think that it's a good idea, or is there anything else I can do to show my gratitude? If I do go about asking him to dinner, what should I say? Should I call or text? By the way, I know a lot of you are going to ask if I'm planning on seeing a therapist, and the answer is yes. I've already booked an appointment, although I think I'm dealing with it pretty well and have mostly put it behind me. I know that it is for the best that I see a therapist for a bit. If you want extra content weekly, head over to patreon.com/storytimesociety and become a member on there for extra content. Love you. I don't think that's weird, actually, but I do I still, like, if I were this girl and this guy came up, like, I still wouldn't, I don't know. Maybe it's because, like, I'm just extremely paranoid and precautious. I don't know if that's the right word, but any guy I'm not trusting. Like, I would still feel so unsafe. Even if this guy was on a bike, I'd be like, oh, so this guy's probably coming to kill me too. Great. Amazing. Love that. So, like, I'm glad that he ended up being a good guy, obviously, but I still would be, like, running away from all directions. I'd be like, like, I'd be so fucking scared. But thank God this, like, happened and this guy ended up being a good guy and helping her out. But I don't think that'd be weird. I mean, I think that I don't know. I think you guys could probably form, like, if not a relationship, definitely a friendship. And I would want to be friends with him if that, like, he literally saved my life. Update 1 month later. Hi guys, I'm back with the long awaited update. But first, thank you all who responded on my first post and gave their advice. I definitely wouldn't have asked if it weren't for all of the positive comments. A lot of you suggested that I just shoot him a text and give him an update in terms of my situation and then ask him if we could meet up for coffee. Dinner seemed too much like a date, so I could return his sweatshirt and thank him. That's basically exactly what I did. I shot him a text and told him that I had filed the police report and that the police will be in contact with me. Then I asked him in a double text if I could take him out to coffee to thank him and return his sweatshirt. He actually didn't respond for a good day, and I was really starting to feel like I'd totally overstepped, but then he did. He first told me that it was great that I filed the report, and then he asked me how I was feeling. He also said that I didn't have to thank him and that he was just doing what anyone would have done if they were in that situation, but that a quick coffee sounded good. So we scheduled to have coffee on a Saturday morning. Going into our meeting, I was actually super nervous for some reason and ended up being 15 minutes early. So I sat for about 10 minutes, fidgeting with his sweater and waiting for him to show up. To be honest, I wasn't even that sure I knew what he looked like. The entire night is still pretty jumbled, and when he was walking me back, I barely paid any attention to him. It was also super dark. Since I was just replaying what happened over and over again in my head, I just remembered he was tall and had a nice smile. Then this really tall dude walks in, scans the shop, sees me, and then gives me an awkward smile and waves. I didn't know what to say after our initial niceties, so I just blurted out, "Whoa, your eyes are actually blue. I thought they were brown, haha." I wanted to crawl into a hole after I said that, but he laughed and said, "Yeah, they can be deceiving in the dark." Then we ordered coffee. He refused to let me pay, and we sat down. First things first, I gave him back his sweatshirt, and he thanked me. We ended up chatting for 2 hours about mostly random stuff like our classes, our summer, The Office, which is also my favorite show, politics, music, etc. I also asked him why he decided to call me Maddie when he was trying to save me, and he told me he read an article somewhere that if you pretend to know a stranger who's in trouble, you're most likely to help them without escalating the situation or getting you or the other person hurt. So yes, he's sweet and caring and devilishly handsome, and we really clicked. But he didn't seem that interested in me. Not that it was a date. So we then went about 5 days with no contact until I came across a meme about The Office and decided on a whim to send it to him. It ended up being a good decision since we ended up talking until about 1 a.m. Next morning, I was feeling bold again, and after much debating, I sent him a text that said, "Hey, can I please take you out to lunch? Coffee didn't count since you didn't even let me pay for you." He said yes, and this time I managed to successfully pay for our meal. I wore a nice sundress to lunch, and he said, "I love that dress. You look really good." We had a really great time again, but as we were leaving the restaurant, I realized that he had left his phone on the chair, so I grabbed it and gave it to him. This is important for later on. About 2 weeks later, he went out of town, but we were still sporadically texting. He sends me a text that said, "Hey, can I take you out to dinner to thank you for grabbing my phone?" OMG, he's too cute. For those of you who might not have caught on, he was mimicking how I asked him out. Anyway, of course, I said yes, and now we're going out to dinner tomorrow night. I like him a lot, but I have no idea how he feels about me. Maybe I'll ask him over dinner tomorrow. But so far, that's what has happened. I'm actually... Hello? I'm standing this. I'm shipping this fucking relationship. Hey, kids. Yeah, so this is how me and your dad met. I was actually, about to be kidnapped, and he saved me. So he's basically a hero, and he's actually so nice. Not him reading that and then using that information. Hello? Not the bar is literally so fucking low. It's actually crazy. But like, you know, I don't really expect much sometimes. But honestly, like, that's just, I love him. I hope they get married. Like, please, can you get married? Anyways. All right. There's a second update that we obviously have to read. Hi again, guys. This is the long-awaited second update. But first, I have to thank you all again for being so supportive. You guys literally all made my day with your positivity. So the dinner date. I woke up Sunday morning at like 11 a.m. Don't judge. And I saw that there was already a text from him at 7:30 a.m. saying, hey, does cute little Mediterranean place sound good for tonight? I'm at that stage where I'll smile and giggle at whatever text he sends me. So after doing that, I told him that it sounded great and asked him what time we should meet. He decided on 7 p.m. and said, great, pick you up at 6:45? To which I said, you remember where I live? And he said, how could I not? It was where I parted with my favorite sweater. Sigh. He knocked on my door on time that night, but I embarrassingly was already waiting at the door, so I whipped the door open after he knocked once. Oh my gosh, the sight that met my eyes was beautiful. I'm just now realizing that this Reddit account has turned into my diary. He was wearing this light blue dress shirt with the sleeves rolled up that complemented his eyes with some nicely fitted black jeans, and he looked so nice. Then he gave me this awkward little smile and said, you ready to go? I followed him to his car and he opened the passenger door for me. I swooned. The car ride was a bit awkward at first, but then he asked me if I wanted to put on my Spotify, and we ended up singing Mr. Brightside. Turns out he's a great singer. I asked him about it, and he was in an a cappella group all 4 years of college and is some low-key cello prodigy. You bet I searched him up playing cello as a kid after I got home that night. We got to the restaurant, waited in line for a bit, and then finally sat down and ordered. Once again, the conversation just flowed so nicely. We talked about literally everything, but I got to learn more about him this time around. I asked him if he used Reddit, and he looked confused for a second and then said no. I think we're safe for now. He made fun of my hands being small and then held up his hand for me to place mine against to compare. I swooned again, and then we had a nice conversation about how annoying contacts were after he choked on his water, laughing at something, and his contact shifted. Anyway, dinner ended too soon, and it might have been just me, but I swear both of us were trying to walk as slow as possible back to the car. After we pulled up to my house, we had the moment where neither of us knew what to say or do, so I said, thanks for dinner. Let go of my purse, opened the car door, and stepped out. Naturally, he said, hey, wait, your purse, to which I responded very dramatically. Oh no, I forgot my purse. Thank you. I guess I have to take you out sometime to say thanks. He got it immediately and burst out laughing, face palmed into his steering wheel, and said, okay, good night, and text me when. Needless to say, I could not sleep that night. Fast forward to Saturday night. On a whim, I texted him, so I'm about to have an office marathon. Do you want to come over and we can order takeout? He takes half an hour to respond, but says, that actually sounds amazing. Count me in. He comes in sweatpants, a hoodie, and glasses. Oh my God, why does he look so cute in glasses? And a bag of chips and guac. Swoon. We DoorDash Indian and start watching on my couch. At first, we're sitting like a good foot apart, and then 3 episodes in, our legs are flush against each other's. Somewhere between the 5th and 6th episode, he leans back into the couch, and I do too. By the 7th episode, my head is on his shoulder, and his arm has moved behind me. Sadly, not wrapped around me, though. After like 2 more episodes, he began dozing off, and I poked him and asked if he needed to go back and sleep. He told me he's been staying up really late doing this project for one of his classes, so he's basically been only sleeping 5 hours a night. After hearing that, I shoved him up and told him he needed to go to sleep before 12 a.m. today. It was already like 11 p.m. At my door, he said sleepily, tonight was really fun. I hope we can do it again. He just looked so cute and kissable at that moment, so I just threw my arms around him and hugged him. He circled his arms around my waist, and he was the first to pull back. But he didn't pull back all the way, and we had a moment where I was trying to look anywhere but his lips, and he was doing the same. Then he leaned in a bit, closed the distance, and kissed me. I may have melted on the spot. It was really short, but it was so sweet. He pulled back, said goodnight, and left. Needless to say, I could not sleep again that night. That's what went on in the past week. To be very honest, I'm still not sure if he really likes me. Maybe he was really tired when he kissed me and wasn't thinking straight. Who knows? This morning, he texted me and said he slept the best he's had in a while. I don't know what the next step is, but I'm over the effing moon right now. Oh, wait, why was I getting butterflies reading that, actually? Wait, no, not me feeling like this is me. I'm like in a love story right now. Girl, he likes you. What the fuck do you mean? He wouldn't be taking you on dates and asking and like coming over and hanging out and watching The Office and like, what? Girl, he likes you. He likes you. I don't know how he couldn't. He kissed you. He keeps on hanging out with you. Like, I don't think that he would hang out with you and like basically be going on dates with you if he didn't like you. The top comment says, unusual, meet cute, but a good story to tell. I like that the guy was so nervous about what he did, but he did it anyway. And this is the part of the Netflix movie where the tall, cute, singing, bike-riding, blue-eyed, contact-shifting stranger meets up with the kidnapper on the trail and says, it's all working out perfectly. We actually? That's crazy. Not Joe Goldberg. Please. I'm obsessed with that story. I'm so, like, I love when we get, like, kind of a cute little happy story because we don't get those very often. So it's a very good, nice, refreshing moment. We're going to move on to the next story. The title is, Am I the asshole for winning a couple of million on the lottery and giving half to my ex before I met my current girlfriend? Oh, God. So I'm 35 male and was with my ex from high school until about 5 years ago. We have a child together, too, that we both co-parent really well. We never fall out with each other, but the love and attraction has all gone. She cheated on me, but there's more to the story than that, and it's not all on her. 2 years ago, I happened to win around $4 million on the lottery. My first thought was my child. I wanted him to grow up with an equal life like he has mine, and the less stress his parents have, the less stress he has. I decided to split the winnings with my ex. We have both been sensible with the money. I quit my job as a mechanic, took my sports and football coaching badges, and with a friend we started a business going around primary schools, doing classes in all sorts of sports and fitness, and also helping out local sports clubs and teams with coaching and methods, etc. It will never make us rich, but we make around 1.5 times the national average wage. I bought a $300,000 house and a $40,000 car, and that's about it. My ex opened up a beauty salon that's doing really well and also bought herself a house. I met my current girlfriend on a night out about 6 months ago. Things have been going well. She knows I won the lottery, and that's why I've got a nicer house and car than my income will normally provide, and why I like to go away on a couple of nice holidays a year. She has never asked for anything from me materially, and kept insisting on covering half the dates despite me offering to pay for every time. We're getting more serious, but nowhere near moving in or anything like that, or her meeting my son yet. It all came to a head last week when the subject of my ex came up and my girlfriend said how nice her beauty salon is. We were with a couple of my friends and one of them said, "It should be nice, Sam paid for it." She asked what he was talking about, and before I could answer, my friend said he gave her 2 million quid. My girlfriend was quiet for the rest of the night, and then we got back to mine. She exploded and said I was still in love with her, and that's why I gave her the money. That I wasn't normal. That no wonder a lottery winner only lives in a house like this and drives a shit car when I gave half away. That I was a gullible simp. How embarrassed she is by me. How we could be set for life with that money and never have to work again, etc., etc. It went on for so long. I told her to leave as I'm going to bed, and I'm not listening to this anymore. I haven't seen her since, and she hadn't answered my calls or replied to my messages apart from the odd insult until today, when she said the only way she could stay with me is to ask for my ex for whatever money she has left to be returned to me so she can save face. I told her no, and I'm done with her. She again accused me of trying to buy my ex back, and I blocked her. Is this going to be a problem I have with other women going forward? Am I the asshole for this? No, obviously not. Because why would that make you an asshole for caring about your son and giving his mom money so that they can both live a nice, healthy, good life? This girl can fuck off, and she is so immature for that. That's so immature. What? That's so immature. Ew. The update is 6 days later. Just a quick update, as I got a lot of nice messages and comments on my original post. She unblocked me and asked for forgiveness, but I said no, it's gone too far, and for me, it's over. She didn't take it very well, and I got bombarded with abusive messages for a day or two. but they've stopped today, as have the phone calls from a withheld number. A few people asked on my last post why I gave my ex half rather than put it in savings for our kid. Between us, we have nearly $1 million that we put aside for him that cannot be touched and will earn interest over the years. As for the cheating, which a lot of people mentioned, we were each other's first for everything, and we talked about it and both admitted a few years we felt a touch of regret. We both agreed to threesomes, so over the course of the next year or so, we had threesomes with a few men and a few women. Unfortunately, she ended up catching feelings for one of them. Not the end of the world, and no reason for us to fall out. This is a very mature guy. He's co-parenting his child with his baby mama, and they're making great decisions together. So, like, don't judge this man. He's literally doing the best he can, and he's providing for his whole family, Eve, like, not being a little bitter baby about whatever ended up happening for them to break up. This downvoted commenter said, "Not the asshole, but I kind of feel like the most recent ex was onto something with regards to feelings. You're either super mature and wise beyond your years, or you're hoping to rekindle the relationship in the future with the last you gave the money to. I'm not saying you're a bad guy. You're obviously not, but it feels like you're playing the long game." What? OOP said, "She's asked me back loads of times before the win, and I said no, so why would I need to pay her to come back?" Exactly. Like, what? Commenter 1 said, "You're a real man, you know that, right? Like a real good one. Sacrificing half your wealth for the betterment of your child was a real power move in the realm of maturity, in my opinion. I think your kid is going to have a significantly more stable life because of your decision and receive the myriad of mental health benefits that accompany that. Be proud of yourself and screw the gold digger. Someone like that isn't worth a second thought to a man of your caliber." Huh? Wait, that's a good comment. I was just confused. Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry. OOP said, "You're making me blush, LOL. Thank you." Yeah, you're a good guy. Doing the best for your son, thinking about your son, like thinking about the bigger picture rather than just thinking about yourself. And I would honestly be like, that is actually so attractive of you that you did that, because are you kidding me? Someone wins $4 million in the lottery. You usually don't think about the fact, like, I always do that. I'm like thinking about what I'm saying and just like making weird noises. That's great for him. He's a great guy. That person is a person that deserves to win the lottery. But the way that he just so casually is like, "Yeah, I won $4 million in the lottery. Ugh. I've only bought like one lottery ticket in my life, but the fact that I didn't win is crazy." It's crazy. I would literally be like, I don't even know what I'd do. I'd probably shat my pants if I won the lottery, actually. Even if I won like $1,000, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm literally rich and famous. That is all the stories for today. I hope you enjoyed them. As always, I'm losing my mind because this is the 5th episode I filmed today. Oh. No, I'm actually like delirious, delusional, hilarious. I'm not okay. So, hope you guys enjoyed. I have one more episode to film. I hope that you guys can't tell that I'm like actually losing my minds right now. And I hope I didn't have a booger on my nose the entire time I was filming. But if I did, sorry. And I love you. And let me know what you thought about this episode in the comments below. If you haven't already, please press the subscribe button, the like button, and all of that jazz. I bet people that actually have English or British accents listen to that and they cringe probably every time I do my British accent because it's so bad. It's the best I can do, though. That's the only accent I can do other than like a country bumpkin. Obviously, everyone can do that. But anyways, love y'all, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.